Okay, so can we be honest about Tua? Every NFL team dreams of finding their guy, that one quarterback who changes everything.
With the 5th pick in the 2020 NFL Draft, the Miami Dolphins select Tua Tagovailoa.
But what happens when you find someone who's good, just not great? Someone who helps you win, but you're not winning because of them. That's the dilemma with Tua Tagovailoa. Because Tua is good, like an average quarterback in the league good. But in today's NFL, good or average might actually be the worst place to be. And for Tua, that question has followed him since the moment he threw one of the most iconic passes in college football history.
Georgia and Alabama separated largely by the Chattahoochee River, but like neighbors that don't visit each other that often, just 3 previous meetings in a decade.
Tua wasn't supposed to be the story that night. He was a true freshman, talented, sure, but mostly a backup learning behind vet Jalen Hurts. He'd seen some playing time earlier in the season, but mostly in blowout wins when the game was already over. But little did he know that tonight, he'd be asked to save Alabama's season.
Jalen Hurts came close to winning a championship his true freshman season. What's the challenge for him tonight?
The challenge is taking care of the football. He's got to be able to continue to do what he's done all year.
Alabama's offense was lifeless, trailing 13-0 at halftime. Then Nick Saban did something unthinkable. He benched starting QB Jalen Hurts and handed the game to a kid who had never started a college football game in his life. And then in overtime came the moment that changed his life forever.
Tagovailoa trying to make up for it. Fires to the end zone. Touchdown! Alabama wins! The Crimson Tide will not be denied.
And just like that, overnight, Tua Tagovailoa went from unknown freshman to national hero. It was the perfect story, right? The kid from Hawaii, the faith-driven prodigy, the instant legend. But that's the thing about perfection. It doesn't last. And when the standard starts at legendary, everything after that kind of feels like a letdown.
This kid, Tua, is special.
Now he's on a national stage, and college football fans everywhere know his name. Sal, can you spell out Tagovailoa?
This kid Tua Tagovailoa, he's better.
At Alabama, Tua was untouchable. He became a Heisman favorite, a national brand, and the prototype for what a college quarterback should look like.
Tua throws the best ball, most accurate ball, tremendous personality, spirit, leadership abilities. I don't understand why this is a conversation.
But football has a way of humbling everyone eventually. And in 2019, that humbling came fast.
Comes out throwing. On the run. Pressure from behind.
Oh, man. He's down. Tua's down. His helmet came off. This is exactly what you did not want to see happen. And sometimes as a coach, you just got to listen to your gut. And I think Nick wanted to take him out, and Tua talked him back into it. And hopefully this isn't serious.
A routine play against Mississippi State turned into disaster. A broken hip, a dislocated socket, and a moment of silence across college football. It wasn't just that injury, it was the way it happened. Tua was flushed out of the pocket trying to escape pressure, still looking to make a play. The same instinct that makes him great, but also the one that would later get him hurt again and again in the NFL.
And the decision to start him in the game and keep him in the game at 35-7 with some 4 minutes left in the first half. That will be discussed, dissected, and argued, certainly for this coming week. Maybe more beyond that.
That hit not only ended his season, but became a preview of what was to come. Because on that same play, Tua would also suffer his first documented concussion. It was the beginning of a pattern that would follow him for years.
All right, spinning this forward now, our NFL draft analyst Mel Kiper Jr. is with us on SportsCenter AM, and Mel, too, has been the presumed top overall pick in 2020's draft for well over a year. He had the ankle injury last season, different ankle this season, and now the hip. How will this latest injury impact his stock?
Yeah, he's not 6'3", doesn't have the big-time arm strength, and now the durability concern is obviously real, and it has been for a period of time because of both of the ankle injuries, Randy. So this kind of complicates matters, and obviously when you're competing with 2 other quarterbacks who are highly rated, it puts you right now third in line instead of number 1 or number 2 when you project forward to late April.
Tua would declare for the NFL draft, but those concerns would follow him.
Mel, of all the people in this draft, the talent is not the thing that is concerning people about Tua, but when you can't get your guys, your doctors, on him to have discussions with him, to medically check him out.
What is your biggest concern about Tua heading into this night?
My biggest concern, Greeny, is his style of play. He's not a big guy. As you look at all of his injuries, Greeny, they all happen with him scrambling, buying time, but not knowing how to protect his body. We talked about Robert Griffin III not knowing how to slide.
I think the injury is a factor, and also durability. Even if he got a clean bill of health moving forward, Trey, and everybody say, oh, he'll be ready. Do you want to medically redshirt him? And then it gets into, is he going to be durable once he's in the league with those 3 injuries already behind him?
With the 5th pick in the 2020 NFL Draft, the Miami Dolphins select Tua Tagovailoa.
The Dolphins took him 5th overall in the 2020 draft, but the conversation wasn't about his talent anymore, but more about whether he could stay healthy.
Dan Orlovsky, who should be the Dolphins starting quarterback week 1?
Oh, Ryan Fitzpatrick. If I'm the Dolphins, I'm not even thinking about playing Tua this year. I'm not even thinking about it. Maybe if we get into the back, 3 games of the season and we're not in playoff contention, I'll think about it. I would even entertain putting Tua on pup.
He replaced Ryan Fitzpatrick mid-year, but never looked comfortable. The media questioned him. His head coach, Brian Flores, never fully believed in him. I mean, there was even a moment Miami flirted with trading Tua for Deshaun Watson. Yikes.
Didn't see this one coming. You all know how I feel about Tua Tagovailoa. I like him. I like him a lot. I liked him in college. I understand why so many teams did like him, and I understand why he got a shot last year, even though Ryan Fitzpatrick was performing well, and I understand how he struggled and sometimes needed Fitzmagic to be pulled out of the hat like a rabbit by the Dolphin staff to clean up the mess on aisle Tua.
But for Tua, imagine being 23 years old, the supposed face of a franchise, and reading headlines that your own team was trying to replace you. It was the first time Tua wasn't just doubted. He wasn't wanted.
And so I go back to Adam Schefter. Shefty, what do we have?
Well, Green, we got a lot of breaking news. There's a lot of things going on across the league. We knew it would be a busy morning, but it's a bit busier than people expected. The big surprise of the morning is in Miami, where the Miami Dolphins have fired their head coach, Brian Flores.
Wow.
Parted ways with him, let go of him. A little bit of surprise coming off a big win over the New England Patriots. It's interesting because if we go back to the beginning of the season, there was some scuttlebutt that maybe Brian Flores could be on the hot seat. That talk quieted down, but the Dolphins made the decision this morning.
There's reports out there that Brian Flores was really kicking the tires and pushing the Deshaun Watson trade. I would too if it all checked out correctly. I know who my quarterback is. He can't take me to the promised land. He may be able to win me 1 or 2 games, but he's going to eventually get me fired.
We threw overboard a guy who had winning records each of the last 2 seasons. Who are you going to get next? I don't know.
Makes no sense.
Go well. And here's the other part too. Who in their right mind is going to take that job?
Then came Mike McDaniel, the young, quirky, detailed-obsessed coach who turned a struggling offense into a track meet.
We've got breaking news out of the NFL. The Miami Dolphins have agreed to terms with 49ers offensive coordinator Mike McDaniel, who's set to become their next head coach.
You get into coaching because you love to coach football. You love to teach, and you love to make people better. And that's exactly who I am, who I have been, and who I'll be as the head coach of the Miami Dolphins.
He saw something in Tua, not the arm strength, not the size, but timing, the precision, the rhythm. For the first time since Alabama, someone built an offense for Tua, not around him. And for a while, it worked.
We're off for the 2022 season.
So we'll see what happens here in week 1. A lot of questions, but finally, Greg, we get some answers today.
Over the middle, got his man, and look at him go! Jalen Waddle for the touchdown!
Greg, I love that decision. Man, and what a strike before half.
In 2022, with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle flying across the field, the Dolphins' offense exploded.
You have to applaud Miami. Mike McDaniel has those guys believing.
Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill becoming one of the best duos in the NFL now.
Oh, absolutely.
Tagovailoa, blocked by Armstead. Going, he's got him! He's got him! Tyreek Hill! And the Dolphins have come back 60 yards!
It was fun, it was fast, it was everything Miami fans have been waiting for. For stretches that season, Tua looked unstoppable. He was leading the league in passer rating. The ball was coming out in under 3 seconds. The system clicked like a symphony. But then, reality.
Buffalo playing without 5 defensive starters themselves today. Tagovailoa, they bring pressure. And Tua, he's woozy.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer.
Oh, my goodness.
Defense number 58. 15-yard penalty, first down.
We saw the play late in the first half where Tua goes down. He hits his head backwards on the, on the back on the ground here after being hit by Matt Milano, and then came back in the game to everyone's surprise. The NFL Players Association is initiating a review of the concussion protocols of his return to the game. What do you think of it, Stephen A?
Thought they were lying their behinds off. We all know that was a damn concussion. I mean, I'm not buying that one bit.
And just a few days later, another one against the Cincinnati Bengals.
To a rolling left with the grain, and down he goes, slung down at his own 48-yard line, and
Broadcast on national television, his hands frozen midair in that unnatural posture that made the entire world stop.
And they'll take him back initially to the locker room. There was the coach, Mike McDaniel, took a send-off, and we'll get, as soon as we can, obviously, the official word as we hear it.
The controversy was immediate.
And now to a frightening moment during Thursday Night Football. The Dolphins quarterback went down with neck and head injuries just days after he returned to the field after appearing to have suffered a concussion.
And there has been discussion across the NFL this morning.
I don't think he should have played. I'm just going to come out and say it, and I know that you could say that's 20/20 hindsight.
How was he cleared to play so soon after showing clear signs of a head injury? Who failed him? The doctors, the team, the league?
For a player to go down, when you get knocked out, you don't know what happened. It's up to someone else, a medical expert or someone that witnesses that to say, no. You just got knocked out. So the NFL has to do a better job in knowing what to do if they see someone get injured the way that he got injured. Wasn't his back. You don't sit up, shake your head to get the cobwebs out, stand up, do it again, start to run and stumble on yourself if you have a back injury.
And just when it seemed things had settled, another blow came against the Green Bay Packers.
We have just learned that our quarterback, Tua, is once again in the NFL's concussion protocol.
Chris, how concerned are you about Tua with the big picture from a health perspective? Because that's what's most important.
Absolutely. He had the one against Buffalo where he was staggered. Then he had the one against Cincinnati. Now he has here. You have to be very worried about him long term. I don't even remember the play.
You could feel the weight of it, not just for Tua, but for the entire organization. Because every time he hit the turf, every time his helmet touched grass, there was this collective pause. A moment where everyone wondered if this was the one that would end it all.
Tua, back to pass, steps up in the pocket, gonna take off and run, and he's hit there. Tua 6 yards on the carry, but he is down. He took a shot to the head on the tackle there, and he is shaken up. Oh, this is not good for Tua, who has a history of concussions.
Tua's story stopped being about numbers after that. It became about survival, physical, emotional, and professional.
You can't help but watch what's happened, and we've seen in the past and wonder, is this the end of his career? But this is a Tua decision. I can't sit here like I've seen other people do and say he should retire. Not my decision to make. It's completely his decision.
There's something almost defiant about it, right? Like, he's not just fighting for his career, but for the right to keep playing the game he loves.
There is an avenue to get back into this game, but it all starts with a stop right here. Tagovailoa backpedals, hit by Scorton, gets away, swarmed, and sacked by A'Shawn Robinson.
Tua is descending while the rest of the AFC and AFC quarterbacks are ascending. We are a far cry from 2022 Tua Tagovailoa. We are a far cry from 25 touchdown, 8 interception Tua Tagovailoa. We are a far cry from the 11-6 Miami Dolphins. So while Tua and the Dolphins have stayed stagnant, and I would suggest they have descended, you have teams like the Baltimore Ravens that have at least stayed at the same level, or they have ascended.
The truth is, Tua's success often depends on structure. He thrives in rhythm. He thrives when the offense is on script. When chaos arrives, though, broken coverage, late pressure, receivers improvising, the margin between his performance and the truly transcendent game narrows. That gap in the difference between good and great. It's not just a Miami problem. It's the dilemma every team faces when their quarterback is mid-tier, but not untouchably elite. Because the alternatives are expensive and risky. Think of Kyler Murray, Trevor Lawrence, Jordan Love. Quarterbacks who, like Tua, have shown clear flashes and legitimate upside. Each has been labeled at points as good, but not clearly transcendent. For teams in their position, a simple question looms. If you move on, who do you get? But if you stay, can you build a championship roster around what you have? The truth is, you can't repeatedly reboot a quarterback. Draft capital, coaching upheaval, fan patience, none of it lasts forever. So franchises often choose stability. They pay the money and they live with the uncertainty. They pay Kyler, they pay Trevor. In Miami, they face the same thing with Tua. Not necessarily because they believe he's going to be a generational quarterback, but because what's the alternative? Because here's the truth. Tua Tagovailoa is just okay. He's mainly accurate, efficient, and besides recently he's been likable. But when you strip away the highlight throws, the stats, the press conference smiles, you're left with a quarterback who's just okay. Because in today's NFL, when it comes to quarterbacks, being just okay is almost as expensive as being great. Being bad gets you draft picks. Being great gets you a decade-long extension. But being just okay, that traps you in the middle. Let's be honest. Tua, he'll help you win games. But does he change anything? Does he tilt the field like Mahomes or Allen or even Lamar? Not really. He's the kind of quarterback you can win with, but not because of. And I promise, that's not an insult. It's just reality. But it's a dangerous one for a franchise because it forces a choice. Do you commit to someone who makes you competitive, knowing deep down he might never make you a contender? Because every time Tua throws a perfect slant, it looks elite. But every time the pocket breaks down, every time he's asked to improvise, you see the ceiling. He's not bad, he's not broken, he's just fine. And maybe that's okay. But then again, is it? It's what gets you stuck. Good enough to hope, but not good enough to win at all. And that's what makes Tua's story so fascinating to me. He's not a failure, but he's not a star either. He's something in between. The quarterback mirror that forces teams and fans to ask themselves what they actually want. Is it greatness or stability? Because the truth is, you can't always have both.